Good morning, everyone. This is Michael O'Malley here with the Hurricane Outlook and discussion for October 12th, 2022, around 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We have a lot to talk about today, including a new tropical cyclone that has formed in the Gulf of Mexico and what to expect for the remainder of the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season. Are more storms to be expected? Let's go and jump straight into everything. Taking a look here at Tropical Storm Karl that has formed now in the Gulf of Mexico, we notice that the circulation has become much better defined today. And in fact, there is now a semblance of a low-level circulation that is closed. Recon has found pressures of about 1,002 millibars, still very ill-defined at this moment. But we do notice that there is deep convection persisting over the top of this low-level circulation. But we notice that the shear is starting to increase with this system, meaning that intensification is going to be limited over the next several days. Looking at the reconnaissance data from today, we notice that the storm is still pretty disheveled at the moment, especially on the western and northwestern side as that shear begins to encroach on the storm. But the storm off towards the northeastern side here is producing some flight level winds of about 45 to 50 knots, with some 40-knot flight level winds down there in the southeastern quadrant and the eastern quadrant. So the storm is certainly trying to organize, but that shear is going to prevent any significant organization right now. Surface pressure is estimated right around 1,002 millibars and not really changing, indicating the storm is remaining in a pretty steady state at the moment. Taking a look here at the official track forecast for this system here, we notice that Karl is expected to begin turning off towards the west and northwest and then beginning to slow down and turn south over the next few days. And landfall is expected here sometime Friday afternoon across portions of Mexico. There's a tropical storm watch that has been issued for those areas as of this minute, and these will likely be upgraded to tropical storm warnings. After the storm moves inland, however, rapid weakening is expected due to the high terrain and elevation across that area, and this will likely become a post-tropical cyclone in the next 72 hours sometime by Saturday. So in terms of what to be expecting over the next several weeks, are we done after Karl dissipates? Well, to take a look at that, this is the GFS, the 06Z run here of Alpha 8 a.m. this morning. We're looking at the 850 millibar vorticity, or the spin in the atmosphere at 5,000 feet off the ground. We notice that over the next couple of days here, Karl again moves inland across portions of Mexico, potentially a severe weather event across portions of the Ohio Valley. And we'll start touching more on the severe weather and winter weather side after the tropics kind of quiet down. Really after Karl will start to pick up that and transition over. But we notice that in the tropical Atlantic, there might be one system actually here on the GFS here that tries to get going out in the main development region. But generally speaking, the MDR is going to be now shut down as, again, we start to get these strong upper level winds cutting across these troughs digging in, and so the MDR is going to be pretty shut down, I think, at this particular point. And the GFS doesn't really go on to develop much of anything else. I mean, some long-range shenanigans, but not really looking at anything in particular. But the upper ocean heat content, there's still a lot of deep, warm water out there, especially across portions of the northwestern Caribbean and into the Gulf of Mexico and the southwest Atlantic. So it is still kind of important to monitor, what's going on here. Of course, the hurricane season is beginning to wind down, but that certainly does not mean to let your guard down because, we have had very destructive hurricanes even into the month of October and November. Of course, recall 2020 with Hurricane Iota down there in Central Caribbean. So it is certainly something to monitor, but right now the GFS ensembles here all the way out to November 14th, don't really pick up on any significant signals. Maybe a signal down there in the Caribbean after some time in about, a couple of weeks here. This is by October 19th, so this is actually going out to next week. Maybe a signal down there, but not really so sure that's actually a signal, much more probably just the GFS bias down there. But not really seeing anything important, not really seeing anything significant out here. Potentially we'll have to watch the Caribbean down there later in the season, but right now just not really anything going on. And of course, it's not anything super big at the moment, but we will be watching the Caribbean certainly for some potential activity going forward in the next week or two, but nothing to panic about right now or whatever. So certainly that is some good news. But do keep mindful that, of course, we are in the hurricane season and it is important to continue to monitor the forecasts as things can and will change between now and then. So with that being said, I hope you have a good rest of your afternoon and evening. Of course, this is Michael O'Malley, and I'll be talking to you guys again some more tomorrow.